I was 22 when I bought my first duplex with every penny I had saved and a loan from my grandfather. I moved into one unit and rented the other so I could stretch every dollar and learn the ropes. Those early years were brutal and gloriously simple at the same time. I worked construction during the day and handled tenants and repairs at night. I ate cheap food and slept little because every spare cent went back into the next property. My first flip taught me how to buy low, fix smart, and sell without sentiment. I made $12,000 on that house and felt like I had discovered a secret. That profit became the down payment for the next deal, and then the next one after that. By year 5, I owned 8 rental units and had started managing them myself. Learning to be a landlord forced me to become organized, tough, and detail-oriented. I tracked cash flow, screened tenants, negotiated contracts, and fixed problems fast. By year 8, I had moved into small commercial buildings and a few mixed-use properties. Commercial rents gave me the cushion to take calculated risks and diversify my portfolio. The steady income let me chase bigger acquisitions without gut-wrenching fear. I reinvested profits instead of cashing out and let compound returns do their quiet work. Last year, I bought and renovated a 12-unit apartment complex and learned scale the hard way. Managing multiple cities meant hearing people I could trust and building systems that worked. I launched a small property management company to keep things efficient and professional. Today, I own 23 rental units spread across 3 cities and a dozen other investments. Between rental income and flipping projects, my annual take-home is near $200,000. The equity I carry in properties finally pushed my net worth past 7 figures 6 months ago. I know the smell of drywall dust at 3 a.m. and the rhythm of punching a calculator until it adds up. I built everything deliberately and without shortcuts, which is why losing control of money felt so personal. Understanding how money flows and how accounts link together is part of my life now. That knowledge gave me the tools to see how someone could weaponize charm against stability. I met Ava at the gym one rainy evening after work when I almost skipped my session. She smiled first, confident and radiant, the kind of woman who seems to light up a room. We started talking between sets, and her voice carried that practiced warmth of connection. She said she was a fitness influencer with a small following trying to build something bigger. 50,000 followers, sponsorships here and there, a life that looked polished online. I didn't think much of it because I liked how real she seemed in person. She laughed at my bad jokes and asked about my work within 5 minutes. When I mentioned real estate, her eyes sharpened with interest instead of drifting away. She asked about how many properties I owned, how I started, what kind of returns I saw. At the time, it felt like genuine curiosity instead of quiet calculation. She said she admired discipline, and that ambition was more attractive than good looks. I wasn't used to that kind of validation, especially from someone like her. She started joining my morning workouts and texting me motivational quotes during the day. Her attention was constant and precise, the kind that makes you feel chosen. We had coffee, then dinner, then weekends together that blurred into a routine. She brought joy into my apartment with her laughter and energy and endless optimism. Her feed began featuring photos of us cooking, laughing, smiling under perfect lighting. "Cooking for my hardworking boyfriend," she'd caption, and her followers adored it. I didn't notice that she always positioned me as a prop, never the focus. She spoke about her dreams of launching her own supplement line and fitness program. Her words carried a hunger that I recognized from my own climb years ago. I wanted to believe she was just like me, ambitious, determined, full of fight. When she complained about her camera breaking, I offered to help replace it. It felt natural to support her, to invest in her dream like she believed in mine. She thanked me with tears in her eyes and a night of affection that felt sincere. That was the moment I crossed from generosity into blind devotion. Every gesture from her was perfectly timed to make gratitude feel like love. When she moved into my place to save money, it sounded practical and sweet. Soon my spare room turned into her content studio, filled with lights and backdrops. She called me her partner in success and said she couldn't do it without me. Her praise wrapped around me like silk, soft enough to hide the tightening knots. I told myself that true love means helping someone build their dream, no matter the cost. But looking back, every smile was a quiet transaction, every thank you a small withdrawal. I thought I had found the woman who saw me beyond my wealth, beyond the numbers. Instead, I had invited into my life someone who saw exactly what those numbers meant. It started with small requests that felt harmless and easy to justify. Ava said she needed professional lighting for her workout videos and product shoots. I bought it without hesitation because it felt like a smart investment in her dream. Then came the new camera, the editing software, and the designer gym outfits. Each purchase came with a kiss, a smile, or a post thanking her amazing boyfriend. I told myself she deserved support because she was passionate and hardworking. When she mentioned a fitness retreat in Costa Rica, I thought she was joking. She said it was a rare chance to network with top influencers and grow her brand. The price tag was $3,500, but she called it a business investment. A week later, she was posting bikini photos from a luxury resort while I worked overtime. She returned with new followers, new contacts, and an even bigger list of expenses. Every time she said, "This will pay off," I believed her a little longer. She called herself an entrepreneur, and I admired her ambition even as my bills grew. Soon, I was paying for her gym memberships, meal deliveries, supplements, and photo shoots. She explained every dollar with data, charts, and the confident language of business plans. $2,500. A month slipped out of my accounts without resistance. She moved fully into my home and stopped paying for anything except her makeup kits. I covered rent, utilities, insurance, food, everything she needed to live comfortably. When I worked late, she sent selfies saying she was proud of me and missed me. Her affection always returned right after I helped her financially or fixed a problem. Slowly, she became the center of my schedule, my thoughts, my priorities. I didn't notice when my role shifted from boyfriend to assistant to silent sponsor. She'd hand me her phone and ask me to film her workouts or edit her clips. Sometimes, she'd tell me to stay out of frame because her followers loved her independence. I laughed it off and kept recording, thinking it was just part of the process. Her Instagram filled with luxury, sunlight, and captions about self-made success. Behind every photo stood me holding a camera, paying the bill, and staying invisible. The appreciation that once felt genuine now sounded rehearsed and mechanical. "Couldn't do this without you, babe," she'd say while scrolling through comments. My friends joked I was dating a brand, not a person, and I brushed it off. I told them love requires patience, understanding, and faith in someone's vision. But deep down, I started to sense that her dreams weren't built for two. The woman I loved was building an empire on the foundation of my generosity. And each smile she gave me felt more like currency than connection. By the time I realized how unbalanced everything had become, it was already too late. She wasn't my partner anymore. She was my project, and I was her investor. Around the 10th month together, Ava mentioned a new photographer named Liam Brooks. She said he owned a small fitness studio and understood her brand aesthetic perfectly. I met him once at a shoot, tall and confident, with a model's face and an easy smile. He shook my hand like I was an extra in a movie he was starring in. Ava swore it was professional, just business, nothing personal at all. She said he was too focused on his own company to think about dating anyone. At first, I believed her, because trust felt easier than confrontation. Then, I started noticing his name in every conversation she had about her content. Liam thinks I should post earlier. Liam says this filter fits my tone. Liam suggested Miami. Her photos improved fast, sharper angles, professional lighting, flawless posing. The engagement on her posts skyrocketed, and she reminded me how vital Liam was. When I asked if she was paying him, she said, "He believes in me, we trade services." The answer felt rehearsed, but she smiled so confidently that I dropped it. Soon, her nights were filled with editing sessions that stretched past midnight. She said the algorithm never sleeps, and neither did true creators. Then came her announcement over dinner, voice trembling with excitement. A major supplement brand wanted to fly her to Miami for a paid collaboration. They cover her hotel, meals, and a $5,000 fee for the photo shoot. I was thrilled for her, finally believing she had made it on her own. But when she said she'd need to bring Liam as her photographer, my stomach turned. She explained that the company wanted someone who knew her visual style. I asked if the brand was paying for his ticket too, and she nodded quickly. It sounded too smooth, too perfect, but her smile disarmed me again. Before she left, I reminded her to keep receipts since I still managed the finances. She kissed me softly and said I worried too much for a man who trusted her. The next morning, she boarded her flight to Miami and posted, "Dreams coming true." Within hours, my credit card alerts began flooding in with charges from luxury spots. $400 dinners, $250 spas, $300 beach passes, all billed under Ava Miller. Her Instagram stories showed her drinking champagne at rooftop bars with captions about freedom. Each photo was perfectly composed, always missing one detail, Liam's face. Then came the picture that shattered everything I had tried to believe. They stood together on South Beach in matching swimsuits, arms wrapped around each other. Her caption read, "Finally dropping the dead weight and living authentically." I stared at the screen until my hands stopped shaking, and everything inside me went quiet. She used my money to fund her affair and mock me to thousands of strangers. That moment burned away every trace of love I had left for her. I realized she wasn't in Miami for business. She was there to bury what was left of us. I didn't scream, didn't text, didn't post a word. I just sat there, watching the photo of her and Liam laughing on my screen. The caption about dropping dead weight repeated in my head like static. Anger didn't come first, calculation did. I've spent years solving problems with numbers and structure, not emotions. So I decided to treat this betrayal like any other broken system. I opened my laptop and started collecting data. Screenshots of every photo, every charge, every text that proved what she'd done. I pulled statements from my credit cards and tracked every cent she'd touched. 18 months, $89,000, all documented and dated. Rent, utilities, meals, retreats, clothing, cameras, memberships. It was all mine. She had built her empire entirely on my accounts and my patience. Every subscription, every insurance plan, every digital tool was under my control. The irony almost made me laugh. She thought she was independent. In reality, she was just an extension of my billing address. By the next morning, I had a perfect blueprint for her downfall. I listed everything she depended on and marked each with a time to cancel. Credit cards first, then gym memberships, meal plans, phone, insurance, internet. I even remembered her domain name, and website hosting were billed through me. I called each company in order, calm and polite, just making routine adjustments. Every agent confirmed my authority, since I was the primary account holder. Her card was frozen by noon, her phone plan cut off by 2. By 4 p.m., her gym, insurance, and website were gone. Her phone would lose data by evening, right around cocktail hour in Miami. Finally, I logged into her Instagram, an old password she once gave me. I changed the email, set a new password, and posted a final story. Taking a break from social media to focus on living more authentically. The words she'd used to humiliate me were now her digital tombstone. Then I logged out and shut my laptop. It was the quietest victory I'd ever experienced. No shouting, no threats, no chaos, just silence and precision. By sunset, her entire world was collapsing in real time. I imagined her trying to pay for dinner with a declined card. Trying to call me, but finding her phone service gone. Checking her Instagram only to realize she couldn't log in anymore. Every piece of the fantasy she'd created was disappearing one click at a time. It wasn't revenge born from rage. It was justice designed with logic. She had turned love into business, so I ended the contract. That night, I poured a glass of whiskey and watched the city lights outside my window. Somewhere hundreds of miles away, Ava was finally meeting reality. And for the first time in months, I felt completely, beautifully free. The first call came an hour after I shut everything down. Her number flashed on my screen again and again, until it went to voicemail. Ethan, hey, something's weird with the card. Can you check? Her tone was light, still confident, still pretending nothing was wrong. By the fourth message, the panic began to bleed through her voice. The hotel says the payment failed. Can you please call me back? By the ninth, she was crying, voice breaking between sentences. They're threatening to call security. My phone's not working. Please, Ethan. I listened to every message while sipping coffee, feeling nothing. By the 12th voicemail, she was hysterical, begging for help and forgiveness. She said she'd made a mistake, that the post came out wrong, that she still loved me. For the first time in months, I had control of the conversation. When she finally reached me through Liam's phone, her voice shook. Ethan, thank God, there's been some kind of system error. No error, I said quietly. I canceled everything. She gasped like she'd been hit. You can't do that. I'm stranded here. You called me dead weight. I just decided to remove it. He's not my boyfriend, you're overreacting, she cried. The photos, the charges, the lies say otherwise. Please, Ethan, I'll delete the post, I'll come home. I'll fix everything. It's already fixed, I told her. Your gym, phone, insurance, all gone. When you get back, your stuff will be packed by the door. You can't do this. That's my whole life. No, that was my money. Your life is whatever you can afford without it. She started sobbing, gasping for air between broken apologies. I'll work, I'll pay you back, I'll do anything, just help me. Good luck with that, I said. And by the way, your Instagram's gone too. The scream that followed sounded like glass shattering in the distance. You ruined my life, she yelled. I didn't ruin it, I just stopped paying for it. Then I hung up and blocked her number, ending 18 months of manipulation. For hours after, my phone buzzed with unknown calls. Liam, her sister, her mother. I ignored them all, until one voice left a message that made me pause. Her mother sounded heartbroken, saying she didn't know the truth until now. She apologized for her daughter's behavior and promised to take her home. I felt no victory, just a strange calm settling deep inside me. A few weeks later, mutual friends told me the rest of the story. Ava and Liam fought for days in Miami, broke up at the airport, and flew home broke. She moved back in with her parents and took a retail job to survive. Her following dropped, her posts lost shine, her fame faded into static. Meanwhile, I went back to work, back to peace, back to myself. Sometimes revenge isn't fire, it's silence. And silence, when earned, is the sweetest sound in the world. Weeks passed, and the storm finally quieted around me. Ava's name disappeared from my notifications, my thoughts, my life. Her once perfect feed turned dull, filled with cheap filters and forced smiles. The world moved on, and so did I. I rebuilt my focus, my peace, and my sense of direction. For the first time in years, I worked without distraction, without someone draining my energy. Every dollar I earned stayed mine. Every decision felt clean. I met Claire, a woman who laughed easily and paid her own way. We split bills, shared stories, and never once talked about followers or fame. It felt like breathing fresh air after living underwater too long. Sometimes I think about that photo from the airport, the one that started it all. It used to burn in my mind. Now it means nothing. She thought freedom meant leaving me. But real freedom was finally leaving her behind. No revenge post, no public closure, no dramatic ending, just quiet victory. I learned that love built on lies always collapses under truth. And in the silence that followed, I finally heard my own life again.